Welcome back, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed the very short Tarif WARS, the 2026 Tarif WARS, hopefully version 1 and only one, coming to an end at Davos over the last 24 hours here. That and a whole bunch more. Markets rebounding a little bit. Trump saying market's going to double in the very near future. Andrew, how you doing, man? How you feeling on this bullish morning?
I feel much better than I did last couple days. It was kind of funny seeing his speech yesterday and then hearing him just openly be like, these dips are peanuts. We're going to see double numbers. And I was like, wow, okay, openly saying he's going to pump the market, I guess. And then obviously good news, dropping the tariff stuff finally. But there's something, I feel like he's going to fucking, pull the Trump card and like bring the tariffs back eventually. Who knows? It's a wild one there, but yeah. So far, it seems like the market's kind of recovering now. Obviously, two back-to-back decent news there. So I think, the risk market is reacting positively here. As you can see, we kind of got a V bottom recovery now here. Whether we just kind of go straight up from here or we have to kind of consolidate and maybe put in some kind of like structure. Maybe some kind of W, right? That's kind of what I would ideally like to see, a nice W structure, and then we can get, a nice little trend continuation. If we do just V bottom, we break to all-time highs. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like that, but makes it a little bit harder to like sneak into these kind of, trades. But yeah, if you're looking across like the stocks, small caps, obviously small caps leading right now. A lot of small cap stocks are doing pretty well. And then overall, just like, it seemed like most of the stocks are kind of rallying pretty hard, performing pretty well. Most of the sell-off kind of got recovered. And now we just have to see whether this holds. This could be just like a reactionary move on the news. Maybe we have some more big and fundamental events coming down the road. But as of right now, it seems positive. It seems like the market's pretty happy. As you can see, we're just kind of pumping away here. We'll see what the New York guys do when they come online later on today. And hopefully we just kind of continue on higher here because it's good for our bags.
Very good for the bags. Yeah, I think probably the biggest risk is if the talks for the current plan with Greenland fall through. And, tariffs talks come right back, which we saw happen with China last year. The initial trade war started, markets dumped, things were recovering, things were looking settled, and then had a little scare 2.0. I think later, it was in the summer sometime, Trump and China kind of fell out with the deal. And for a week or two, markets got a little nuts again as, fears of those tariff wars between U.S. and China coming back started up again. Obviously, now we're beefing with Europe rather than China, but hopefully these fears are qualmed for good, and this deal with Greenland gets done. We can all move on and get back to the up only that we know is coming in 2026.
Hopefully. I still think the idea of like we're kind of at the end of the cycle still kind of stands in a way, but looking at crypto, markets are holding. We got that big dump that we were, expecting, right? So now we got the retracement. We got the retest of this original double bottom breakout. We're going through the Wyckoff check process right now. And essentially, like, I was looking at this 85K area originally, nice candle body lows there, candle body lows, 78.6. And so now we're just kind of chilling pretty much against that original market structure. And we just kind of have to wait here and see whether we print, another double bottom here. If we can get another double bottom, great. If not, then maybe we just kind of get a V bottom. As long as we can break out of those highs, then those V bottoms can, hold. Otherwise, could just be a dead cat bounce reaction, and then we might just have to kind of flop right back down. So really just have to wait and see. We do have a bearish divergence on the MACD that we are facing right now. So I would like to see this kind of like turn at least. Still got a lot of room before we hit oversold conditions as well. So maybe one more stab lower could make sense to go after these lows here, kind of thing. But for now, it's holding. So if we're going even lower time frames, you can see we are trying to put in some kind of structure here, a little bit dirty. Got kind of like an inverse head and shoulder, kind of building on the hourly there. But yeah, I think still just kind of sitting in hands and waiting. Nothing to do. Don't need to panic sell or anything. Any of our longs here yet. So just I'm just kind of like accumulating. I like that we tagged this like double bottom level. So I'm pretty much loaded a little extra there the other day. And just waiting to see. Ethereum's kind of the same thing. We're kind of retesting these original bottoms and breakouts, these lows, these candle body lows. And now we're just kind of playing, do we want to rally? Do we want to consolidate? Or do we want to break down? It's anyone's guesses at this point. We are coming close to, I guess, like the FOMC stuff. I think most people are already realizing, like, yeah, this probably won't be a rate cut. So there might not be too much, rallying or expectations there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this next few days pan out. But yeah, it's nice that we didn't fully lose these lows yet. So yeah.
What any particular trades that we looked at over the last 2 weeks that have kicked off?
Unfortunately, not really, man. It's been pretty dead on. Yeah, nice weekly. So if you look on the weekly chart from this range, from down here, nice little tag of that 61.8. Reload zones 61.8 to 78.6 is the area where you want to buy. So it's just pretty much like all they did was just did like a technical reversal and then just cleaned it up a bit. But yeah, I mean, if we look over here, like stablecoin dominance and altcoin dominance, we got a lot of V bottom recoveries going on here. V top on the stablecoin dominance. If we start getting those M's again, and then we get these W's on the indexes, then I'd be a little bit more hopeful again for the alts, and then be tempted to kind of load back in. But I think overall, like most things are kind of just sideways, or at least like if you're looking at like really like random small cap names or just like dead old names, they are rallying. So like like just random shit, and like the bottoms like are very defined. Like like we talk about these double bottom structures a lot, right? You could have entered on this double bottom, you could have entered on this double bottom, could have entered on this double bottom. So there's all these like structure. The ones that we put on, we did try to play the double bottoms, but they unfortunately broke down. But then you got all these like random ones that are like, starting to rally, like even sand starting to go off, right? Looks like Ronin's going to try to go off here. Secret. These are the privacy stuff. All the privacy stuff's doing pretty good. Riff, that looks pretty good. A little double bottom there. So it's really just like knowing like what token you really want and stuff. For me, like I'm too, like the market's been so volatile in the alts that I'm very just like hesitant on even participating in a lot. I'm actually having a lot more fun in the stock market these days, just because it's just more steady. But overall, like, it's just a matter of like, okay, like, did you pick the right coin? And, it's like a game of roulette. Like some of them are going to blow off, some of them aren't, But if you're really a sharpshooter and you really just want to kind of bet like anything against these bottom of the ranges, anything with a double bottom or bullish divergences, oversold conditions, like those are going to be like your best bet. But again, I'm not very active on the alt side too much these days. It's just been too volatile. Just keep getting stopped out on a lot of my trades recently. So I'm just like, did miss zero. That was kind of sad. I did want some of that. But yeah, I mean, overall, I think if we do start turning here, Bitcoin does break out, we do get those double bottoms coming in, then, we can potentially start continuing on higher here on a lot of these names potentially. But it's weird. It seems like a lot of like these like popular like, big blue chip names and whatnot, they're not doing so well. It's all like the random obscure names that like people aren't actually paying attention to or like, so it's been tough to navigate this market. But
Yeah,
I mean, we still have some like positions on, like Sui's still there. Didn't break those lows, so holding on to that. DCR as well, still just kind of hanging there. Yeah, I don't have too many positions open right now. A lot of them kind of got closed out. So I've been trying to hunt Canton, but I wanted it a bit lower. Unfortunately, it already kind of like took off there. But I don't know. It could just be like a dead cat bounce reaction here. Maybe things are trying to bottom here. It's tough to say. I mean, usually when you see like the absolutely random shitters starting to rally hard, that's usually kind of a bad omen. But yeah.
Yeah, the dinosaur coins. I was doing an article today talking about how alts are dead, they're not coming back. Your favorite altcoin from last cycle is dead, leave it behind. Kind of a thing. And I could get that point, and I agree with it to some extent. I think there's definitely exceptions in there. Do I think they're going to run as hard as they did previously? I think it depends on the overall markets. But one thing I think that the writer underestimated, that I kind of made a comment to this on LinkedIn, is that I don't think that people understand how much money some of these teams have. Some of these tokens that are down 70, 80, 90% of these big L1, L2s infrastructure projects, the teams are sitting on tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes more in the case of some of these foundations. They're just waiting for the right time to deploy that. Once the market conditions are such that they feel comfortable going out and pumping money into their ecosystem, that may be this cycle and maybe next cycle. I don't know when, but some of these guys that are down 80, 90%, you're going to see some massive rips and some, 2, 5, 10, even 20Xs out of some of these dinosaur coins yet, when they get out there and start deploying this capital. So while I agree, I think if you're really looking for the next hot thing, or what's going to provide the best returns, there's a lot of different trends out there, agentic AI, this X402, some of the new e-commerce plays that are coming in. We're seeing, Coinbase and Spotify making it easy to, use crypto directly in e-commerce, and AI tapping into their own APIs where AI can buy standalone stuff by itself. I think some of that kind of stuff is going to be, some of the RWA plays, stablecoin stuff, DePIN, privacy, like those are where some of the biggest gains are going to be made in some of those hot trending areas. But if you're still looking for a safe play, 2, 5, 10x, which is still insane for most people in any sort of market condition, some of these dinosaur coins, some of these bigger L2s, L1s, some these popular coins from the bear market that raised a bunch of money or have done huge OTC and secondary rounds, they're still set to have explosive gains this cycle yet, or next cycle, again, whenever the conditions are right for them to start deploying that capital.
Yeah, I hope so, man. That's the thing. It's like I've been betting a lot on these like like blue chip stuff, and like they're just not like doing much.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, okay, so you gotta just like find like these like outliers and whatnot. I don't know. I'm just I'm comfortable just trading Bitcoin, Ethereum these days. It's just like less stress, less volatility. You can trade in size on these ones.
It's getting the job done.
And in stonks, I'm having so much more fun in stonks. like hitting doubles on like random biotech stonks. My Intel's just flying. Like, yeah, just like I don't know. It just seems like alts are. I'm losing my passion for alts here these days.
Well, depending how these midterm elections go, we either may get massive continued pumps this year, or we might have to fall back on the backup plan of opening a daycare. So,
yeah, daycares. Yeah, just say we're Somalians.
Oh man, nice. All right. Any other charts you wanted to cover?
That's kind of about it, really. I don't have any like new picks or anything like that.
What's Dixie looking like? We haven't looked at the dollar in a bit.
Yeah, let me pull up the chart here. So, good thing VIX is pretty low, so volatility is low. Don't have to worry about any kind of big major crashes here. But dollar, dollar is trying to bottom. It's been kind of like back and forth for a while here. Especially if you look on the weekly chart, it's like, okay, like they tried to break out originally, failed, got rejected. came back into a short, long reload zone, bounced out. And so now we're trying to see whether this thing wants to go. We just have to wait and see, like, market structure, off we go. If not, then we break down lower and whatnot. But it is sitting in like, potential reload zones on like a larger time frame here. So this is kind of like where you would expect to see the bulls try to step up here. And then even on this smaller range of just like from this low to this high, we're kind of just playing around with the reload zone here as well, where we're just kind of coming in. And then if we tag the reload zone going up, the short side, probably if we look over here, probably just a bounce of 61.8 back and forth. Yeah, so 61.8, bounce back, 61.8. So we're just ping-ponging. We're just ranging at this point. So
you mentioned the euro really strong. What's the dollar looking like against the euro at the moment? Has that shifted with the in the last 24 hours with the announcement of the relinquishing of tariffs and the Greenland deal?
Yeah, let's see. So, Euro's breaking out pretty strong here. And then the tariff stuff kind of like just kind of beat it up. And then we had a nice big spike yesterday or a couple of days ago. And this was a kind of interesting candle bar because this is what you call like a key reversal. Essentially when like, the tail and the body of the candles previously are within the candle body of this. That's kind of what you call a key reversal. So it's like, think of it like an engulfing bar. And like this is like an 8-bar key reversal. You don't see that very often, especially in like Forex, I would say. So essentially, if this key reversal would have been confirmed and valid, if we actually broke out above this wick here, right? And then you could do like a simple 2-to-1 kind of like trade idea thing here. And this would be a pretty strong signal and structure, but we haven't broke out there yet. So clearly this could be, become invalidated pretty quick. But if it doesn't, and we do break above here and say this rallies and comes back up higher, then I would be leaning towards like longing euros a bit more than US dollar here. And, like I said, like these key reversals are like pretty strong, candle bars. You don't see them too often. So.
Nice. Well, it never ceases to be a entertaining week in the macros. All kinds of fun stuff going on, especially with Davos this week.
Yeah.
That anytime you're going to get all the Cretans together, there's going to be some good clips.
Yeah.
All right. Solid. Well, speaking of the Cretans, I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think our old buddy JP was out in Davos. I'd imagine the head of the Fed would be out there. Not looking good for the bids, boys. The rate cut's looking real rough right now. Only 2% on the 25 basis points. If you want a long shot here, I mean, $20 can make you $1,000. Over $1,000, $1,111.11. I mean, that's a lucky number right there. How can you not bid that?
I mean, those are very attractive numbers.
Yeah. On the flip side, you can make 37 cents betting $20 on the nose there. No change there. So yeah, unfortunately, with the all the turn of events here, there's been a lot of focus on other areas. I think if we didn't have the whole Greenland and tariff thing going on, I would probably see a lot more activity with Trump bearing down on the Fed, trying to get them to cut this month. So I wonder, when is the next rate cut? Is it March? I don't think there's one in. I don't think there's one coming up in. No, there's not one coming up in February. I think March is the next one. March rate cut. Oh, come on. Where are you? Fed. Yeah, Fed decision in March. There you go. Another no change here.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. They're only planning to do, I think, like one cut this year.
That can't no, dude. There's no way they're doing one cut this year. They might do one cut before May when JP gets kicked to the curb, but I gotta imagine whoever gets in after that's going to be like, let's go, baby.
Instant cut.
Yeah. That might be where we get that 50 basis point cut.
Yeah.
Get the new leadership in there and crank that printer, baby. Cut, baby, cut. Kind of a different story that we've looked at before. This kind of interesting long-term story and kind of a generational piece here. But Gen Z set to inherit more than $15 trillion worldwide, and they trust crypto more than banks. This, I think, is one of those long-term shifts. You really zoom out. We always talk about zooming out on the charts, looking at the long-term picture. This is something that I hadn't really thought about before, at least not to this magnitude. The amount of money that's going to be going into the youngest generation's hands here, or not the youngest, but the younger generation's hands here. And that's not that far off. We're talking probably within the next 20 to 30 years. $15 trillion is just a lot of money. Kathy Wood recently came out, and this might be part of her thinking here. Where are you at? Somewhere up in here. Anyways, she's talking to see digital assets jump to $30 trillion, $16 trillion of that being Bitcoin. Sounds crazy now, but when you think about it, if you see what's going on with the tokenization of equities, the U.S. stock market alone is $90 trillion.
Yes.
So, I mean, we could do that 30 trillion, just bringing in a third of the U.S. equities market into crypto. And with the NASDAQ going 24/7, tokenization of major assets probably by the end of this year, that on-ramp is going to be open and that money's going to be coming in sooner than we think. So,
but is it going to come into crypto? I mean, like, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, this article is like misleading because, like, I don't know if like Gen Zs are actually, trusting crypto. Like retail, if you look at retail participation, it's low. Like, there's not a lot of liquidity in the markets. Like, I mean, then again, I don't really know too many Gen Z people, I guess. But
yeah, I don't think they have the money yet.
Yeah, it just seems like this is just kind of like it's trying to like engagement farm here and like I don't know. Like crypto market cap is what, like 3 trillion right now, and Kathy Wood's saying what, 30 trillion. What what's the timeline for that? Did she say? Because like that's a 10x from here.
You were Kathy Wood's bid here. I'm trying to find her. I had it here somewhere.
Like that seems wild to me. Like 10x from here. It's like I think you just
it depends. It depends what we consider in terms of like what does crypto mean? Is it stable coins? Is it just tokenized equities count? Because technically those are on blockchain rails. They're going to be on different L1s. Technically that is crypto, depending how you want to look at it. Does that mean it's going to pump our alts necessarily? I mean, they're definitely going to catch a bid because of it. Some of them are going to be. There's all sorts of infrastructure projects that are going to be used as part of that. The hyperliquids, the stable coins, underlying networks for those, the oracles, all the different, bells and whistles that are working behind the scenes to keep those industries moving. So yeah, going to be interesting to see, but more and more people are jumping on the bandwagon of everything will be tokenized at some point. And it's starting to look like that some point, maybe sooner than we expected.
Yeah.
Should be interesting. Ethereum going to be one of the major winners there. This coming from BlackRock, highlighting Ethereum's current market share when we're talking about the tokenization toll road. And I think that's a great way to imagine that. When we think about the equities and all these different RWA assets being tokenized, no, it's not directly going to pump the you don't have to buy and hold Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever other alt, but you are using that, for example, Ethereum, you're using the ETH as gas. And as we've seen recently, Ethereum just hit all-time high volumes.
And it's hella cheap still. Gas is not $1,000 anymore.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to see that generating revenue on chain. We're going to see that continue to pump Ethereum as it is a scarce asset. You have more and more DATs buying up. It's going to become more and more in demand for tokenization, for stable coins, you name it. So I would expect Ethereum is becoming one of my more and more favorite longer term bids. Gobble up as much of that as you can.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I always, like I say, like Bitcoin and ETH are like the two only real big assets that I think is just kind of worth, trading and holding these days.
Well, here's an oldie but a goodie: Axie Infinity.
Yeah, that's the one.
Original.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you showed the 2x there. Obviously, this starting all kinds. I'm sure with Axie pumping, by tomorrow we're going to see some other gaming coins popping off. Simply just the narrative kind of momentum play has absolutely nothing to do with the gaming. GameFi coming back, but might be a little alpha there with Axie running. What are some other tier 2 and tier 3? Yeah, Sandbox.
I think Sandbox. That's why Sandbox is running right now. What is that? Luvium.
Luvium is one. I think. I can't even remember, man. I can't even remember what some of the big gaming coins. It's been so long since any of that's been relevant. It's Super. I wonder is Super catching a bid right now?
Let's see.
Not really.
Nah, it looks dead.
I really like Elio. I think Elliot's a great founder and a good dude. But it's been rough for GameFi. But is this the start of the gaming comeback? I personally don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. I would love it to be, but
Yeah, I think just a money grab. People trying to revive. People made a lot of money with Axie. Understandably so. They're trying to revamp the system to make it work.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think in the future, at some point, we will see the reemergence of GameFi. It just makes too much sense. There's too many efficiencies for blockchain and gaming, and they're both very tech forward young audiences with both of them. So it makes a lot of sense for that industry to come back. It's just timing's not right. I don't think they solve the major problems that they need to be solved for the gaming industry to adopt blockchain and really see those tokens start to pamp again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. What I'm noticing in this crypto space, like you get one sector that's hot, pops off for a day or two, and then it just quickly switches to the next and so forth. So
the mass rotations.
Yeah, quick and violent.
Market makers having fun. Whoop, and I lost my story. What are we doing here? There we go. Old Thinkster at the World Economic Forum out there in Davos with all the other lizard people talking about how a single unified blockchain would help reduce corruption. That kind of sounds like the opposite of what blockchain is and this environment, the ethos of decentralization. Centralizing everything on one chain doesn't seem to me like it would make it less corrupt, more secure, or faster by any means. Not that these people don't know what they're talking about, that they're idiots. I think they're just corrupt as hell and have nothing but their own interests in mind. So, careful what you wish for. BlackRock getting into the industry, not necessarily they're
already here, man. They're already in the game with us. And
I know. I'm just saying, it was hailed as we've got all this institutional adoption. I think there are benefits to that, and I think there are things that are good because of that. But there are consequences as well.
Yeah, no kidding.
And negative. Ethereum continuing to just crush the competition. 2026 looking to be a banner year for Vitalik and the team over there at Ethereum, really doubling down on their vision. We've covered a couple different stories the last few weeks about all the initiatives they have, from privacy to further decentralization, scaling. They're crushing it on the fees game there, and it's showing. TVL 341 billion compared to the next closest being Tron, Solana, getting as much hype as they're getting, 10x away from Ethereum's TVL there. So. Do we continue to see the race, that gap widen One thing Base itself winning the TVL game on Ethereum. Base with, I think it was 47 billion in TVL. Base, an L2 of Ethereum with more TVL than Solana. I don't think that number there is accurate. The 12.5 billion. It's not an updated number. That was far larger than that. But interesting to see BNB so far down here. They're still, what are they ranked? They're still in the top 10 or top 20, aren't they?
The top 10, aren't they? Yeah, they're top 4.
Yeah. Number 4 market cap token with what are they at here? Only 11 billion in TVL. What's the market cap? 121 billion.
Oh my God, so crazy.
Well, some long-term bull hopium here. Getting a nice double bottom for 2025 there. Double top, then B cups on 2021 there.
Those aren't double bottoms and those aren't double tops. Those are.
Oh, come on.
Those aren't proper structures, but good try. Good try.
They are. I said it's hopium, all right? Here we go. Here's the Kathy Woods article I was trying to find here. Yeah, Kathy Woods predicting digital assets to reach 28 trillion by 2030, 4 years from now. Bitcoin dominating at 16 trillion. That's a hell of a cycle. I mean, not much room for bear markets in there over the next 4 years.
Yeah, so you would have to hope that the 2028 cycle, when we have the halving event. So typically, like Bitcoin 10x's, each halving. So in the next one, if we keep prices relatively where we are now, 3 trillion market cap total in crypto, maybe it might be doable actually, but it's a long if. And making these kind of long-term kind of projections are pretty risky.
Kathy Woods definitely known for her outlandish.
She's got to pump her bags, man. Her fucking ETFs are suffering. She needs people to buy.
Something else that's suffering: sex listings. We know we know that the pre-sale game, the ICOs have been dead for a while now. New projects launching has been very tough, and sex listing data not looking good either. This is kind of an indication. Another metric to look at in the overall pre-sale early stage project launch market here. This is the 2025 data. The best ROI on new listings is a 0.43x. It's less than 0.5%. That's a negative return. Binance listings 0.21x. If you had invested, in other words, 10K on all the new coins that have launched on Binance, you'd be down almost $8,000. That's kind of the state of crypto at the moment. We need something to inject some new life in here. We need the overall macro environment to pick back up where real money can start coming back into this industry. There are some innovators out there trying to innovate, but capital is scarce.
Yeah, man. And it's tough. Where are the Gen Zs? Where's that $15 trillion? Bring it. We need that. God damn.
What else? Anything else? It was kind of a slow news week. Everything's been focused on Greenland, and it's not loading. Everything's been focused on Greenland, on the Davos, on all the international tariff wars. So that's kind of been the only focus of anybody this week so far. Not a lot to cover, but I guess probably the best thing we can talk about is take a look at the charts that we covered if you're tuning in late at the beginning of the episode here. And the resounding news for today is the U.S.-European tariff wars are over. Greenland deal on the table, looking like hopefully it will move forward and everything will be back and peaches and cream here very soon. So give us a damn rate cut and let's pump, baby.
Yes, I'm ready. Seems like the market's happy right now. Let's hopefully it keeps going. Hopefully no more tariff bullshit, and hopefully no more surprises, and we can just kind of continue on until the spring summer seasonal cycle.
Well, here's hoping for a bullish and enjoyable weekend, and we will be back on Tuesday with more charts and news stories. Till then, take care of yourself. Stay safe. We'll catch you next time.
Take care, guys.